This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning.
No Nathan today, but it's okay because we had a couple of Navy boys come in.
Yeah, we did.
Tyler from the US Navy, I'm talking them down. They're like lieutenants and stuff. They're very important people. And Joe from the Australian Navy. We talked about submarines.
We had a special guest join us as well to ask a question, which is nice.
Yes.
Susanna Carr, by the way.
That's
Just throw
right.
that out there. Andy Lee joined us. The 100's back on, Nat, and we were wondering the last time we talked to him about the 100 because it seems like it's never off. He gives us the update.
It's like it's a new season of the 100. It's like, was it not on?
Exactly.
We also get a bit of an update on his building project, which is extensive and elaborately expensive. And we talked about football, and it's finals time. There were a lot of grand finals over the weekend, so we heard some hard luck stories.
We certainly did, yeah. It's heartbreaking all season, and then you get nothing.
Nathan,
My world's amazing.
Nat,
It's not crazy.
and Sean.
No, that's definitely not crazy.
Nova 937.
It's 356. Nathan and Sean. No Nathan today. He's off sick, but don't worry. We're here to have Robert Irwin in the studio. Sean McMahon.
Hey,
What
morning,
time are
Nat.
you feeding the crocodiles?
I'll tell you what, I'm wearing all khaki this morning.
You've got the shorts,
So I
and then you've
grabbed
got
this-
a black T-shirt and then a khaki overshirt.
Yeah, the overshirt I bought like 2 weeks ago, and I haven't
Yeah.
used it, and I was waiting for the right moment because
And you thought this was it?
I just chucked it on, and then there was a moment of realisation when I walked into the newsroom because I could see a reflection of myself, and I
Yeah.
thought,
I'm a
that'll be
celebrity,
right.
get me out of here.
No one will mention a thing.
I know, give our love to Bindi. It's all
I'm going to
good.
do it up.
Yeah. Oh,
Maybe
that
more
should
official.
help.
Yeah. I'm either Robert Irwin or mowing the lawn.
Yeah, that's
pretty
right.
clear.
What are the, we know it wouldn't be that. That'd be manual labour, so we'll rule that one out.
Yeah,
No, you look amazing. Is it because we've got a couple of people from the Navy coming in?
Most
you
definitely.
Thought you pretend you're in Afghanistan with the army? Is that what's going on?
They'll never pick me, mate. I'm like the Sandman. The hide out
Oh, too good. All right, well, that's awesome. Andy Lee's joining us not too far away, actually.
Yeah, looking forward to catching up with Andy. Actually, I want to ask him about the Carlton Blues, which he's a maiden supporter of.
Yeah.
And they got smoked on the
Oh,
weekend
I'm sure
by
he'll be
Brisbane.
really happy to talk about it, man.
Yeah. Well, it's Mad Monday time for them.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, I mentioned the guys from the Navy. We're talking submarines.
Yeah.
Submarines.
Yeah, because of the deal we've got with AUKUS,
Yeah.
and I hope that WA will be a base where they can do
Yeah.
some maintenance stuff. There's a few floating around.
Well, yeah, that's their job.
Yeah. Literally.
Plus, we got more chances for you to win stuff, including a night out with me on Friday.
All right.
Hello, look out.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Nat, yesterday I had to drop my daughter to watch her mates play footy. She was
Yes.
keen to do that. Their final was in Willerton at Burrendale Reserve, which is my home
That would
ground.
have been, where you did a lot of damage back in the day.
Yeah, and I have never driven any of my kids to the house that I used to live in.
Oh, you've never taken the spin pass
Yeah,
to
whenever
show
we
them
go
your
through-
humble beginnings.
Yeah, whenever we go through that area, I always
Yeah.
carry on. Oh, Willerton, this is
Yes.
it, 6155. Feel it, feel the energy, everyone. I point
Sure.
out people's houses or
Yes,
whatever.
but never your own.
No, so I took Sonny towards to my old house. I took a photo of it yesterday. You can have a look at it.
Oh,
but
look at this.
we used to live in a
okay.
street called Rana Court when I
So
grew up.
it's a cul-de-sac, yeah?
Yeah, and the other McManuses lived on one called Doon Place, and we were one street apart from my cousins growing up.
Yeah,
and
right.
every day was doing stuff together, as all of us do. We have close mates in the street, so you're pointing out different houses along the journey. But when I was checking out the old house, it's amazing how big you thought it was
Yes.
at the day. So I'm looking at the front. There's no front garden in this picture. I should show Harry and Amy when they're going around. But there was a front lawn where we played cricket on every day, and I
Oh,
thought
so
I
that's
had.
overgrown now. Or what? Where's the front lawn?
I don't know. I can hardly see it. But my Uncle Bern, there's a letterbox on the front. My Uncle Bern, I remember, built this letterbox, and that was the where we start our bowling run-up from.
Yes, okay.
And I bowled to my brother David. We played cricket on the front lawn the whole time. And when you think back at it...
Like,
I
that
felt
can't
like
be
it was
possible.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like a full-size pitch. And then when I look at it yesterday...
You were
for the
tiny,
first
though, to be
time
fair.
in, 40 years or
That's
something.
extraordinary. Give me another look at that.
Yeah.
There is no lawn. Okay, so where the boat's parked,
Yeah.
these people got boat money, obviously. So the letterbox, where's the letterbox?
That
There.
white thing
oh,
there.
That's it, the white one. Okay, sorry. Oh, okay,
But
the
to
white
me,
brick
the house
one.
is really big. Backyard and all this kind of stuff. Well, we've spent our whole of our life on the front yard.
Okay, so here's what's interesting,
Nothing's
right?
changed in that house.
This is your perception of your childhood home. Your kids have grown up in the house you're in now.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
they going to, in what, 30 years' time, drive past and go, look at this hovel that we used to
Look
live
at
in?
this
Is
dump.
that what they're going to say?
Yeah.
Because they're like living in some sort of beachside mansion now. Is that... Or is it going to go the other way and go, oh, remember when we were rich?
Oh,
before
no.
before Dad lost everything in a gambling thing?
I get told how often we're poor all the time. But it's great to go back and check out these
Isn't it
things.
just?
Yeah.
See, I do
I
that, but
enjoy
that's
it.
just going home to visit my mum and dad because they're still in the same house. Same house on the farm.
How many bedrooms is that house?
So when we were very little, it was a 3-bedroom house. So the mum and dad and the boys shared a room, and I had a room. And then when I was in primary school, they extended the house a little bit, and so we each got our own rooms. So we did have our own rooms in the asbestos house, and it's still to this day. So, but what was my bedroom has become the office, and the other two were kind of one of Mum's junk rooms, and then the guest room.
Yeah. Oh,
Still the same. Dad made all the furniture, so he made built-in desk wardrobe things that went down one wall of the bedroom, and it had a fold-down desk that you could sit at, so that to do our homework, which we never did.
You fancy.
Yeah. It was made out of
Everything
chipboard, homemade by John Locke. Beautiful times, humble beginnings. Look at us now.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Now that the Olympics and Paralympics are over, we can return to normal programming. And normal programming tomorrow night is The 100 with Andy Lee. It'll be on at 8:40 after the block. He joins us now.
Andy.
Hello.
Sure, Nat. This is feeling different for you guys. You guys can get a word in. It's incredible. Nice.
We don't know what to say.
Exactly.
What
I
are we
can
going to do with all
imagine.
this time?
Just relax, breathe a little bit. Yeah, people will be wondering how they're a lot calmer as they arrive at work this morning across Perth. Not as
real
manic.
reason.
Yes. And I can view this as my audition to take Nathan's job.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
look,
okay.
do you want it? We'll take you. No
Oh, good.
worries. Yeah.
Good news. Well, there you go, Nath. If you are at home sick, monitoring this right now, it's pretty bad bedside manner from Nat just to give you the news that way.
You've
but
got a
that's okay.
decent resume,
Yes, but my job was just laughing at the funny guy. So we're going to need another one of those.
Hey, Andy, I was talking to Nat about this before because on the promo it said the season return, and I was thinking, you're never out of season with the 100. I feel like do you actually have an off season?
I know. We do 2 seasons a year, but there is a short gap now between them. So I do like the fact that it says season return. It makes us feel like we're more of a stalwart than we are. Like they say season 7. Gosh, he must be going for nearly a decade. Nah, 2 seasons a year. But yeah, it's fun to be back.
And did you do an Olympic special or something as well? So
That's a good point now.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, between seasons.
Yes, that was between seasons. That was in the off season. But yes, back tomorrow night. Tom Gleeson's on, Sophie Monk, Mike Goldstein, and we're covering off topics such as secrets, how Australia responds to secrets and uses them, and also workmates. So you guys can look around at each other. I can throw a few questions at you if you like to get everyone warmed up for tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
why
Let's
not?
do
Why not,
it.
Andy?
And we'll just, when you say workmates, we'll all just think of Nathan.
All right. This one is potentially a sad one, actually.
Oh.
What % of Australians are closer to a colleague than their own partner?
Oh, well, if everyone's looking at me at the moment. And I'm going to say you're lying because I'm the outlier. You reckon?
I would say it's high. I would say 42.
42? What are you going to say, Sean?
No, I'm with you, Nat. It's going to be high. Sorry, I didn't even think about that. No, I'm going to go with 37.
Sean wins that one, 23%.
Oh, they're all lying. There's a lot of people lying about that.
Well, maybe you guys just like each other more than everyone else in their workplaces.
No, it's not that.
It's barely enough to get over the person at home, so that's the difference.
This one potentially linked, equally as juicy. Mm-hmm. What % of Australians know about a workmate's affair?
Why are you looking at me again now? I just feel it every time.
Because you're her
trying to
closest
think.
workmate.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and the only one with a partner.
Yeah. God, I'm going to go low ball
Yeah, I
now.
think
I'm
it's
going
low.
2%.
Yeah, I'll say 7.
26%.
Yeah, there is no
Whoa.
way that more. That there's
Yes.
more of that one than the previous question.
Yes, 26% of Aussies know about a workmate's affair. Now, people work obviously in
That's 1 in 4.
Exactly, and office gossip.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
most affairs happen with a colleague.
A workmate. Yeah.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you if you work with someone, Andy, we had this conversation last week, actually, I brought the topic up. Do you inform a spouse or someone you
Yes.
know?
No,
Hey,
I
this
haven't told Zoe about Hamish's affair yet.
It's the elephant in the room, though.
Exactly. Gee, that's going to be a headline, unfortunately.
Isn't it
Yeah,
just?
sorry, Ham.
Isn't
Sorry,
it
Zoe.
just?
That's exactly the type of thing that gets me in trouble. All right, I'm going to quickly move on. Last one.
Yeah.
What percent of Australians have stolen a workmate's lunch?
Oh, I'm going 32.
I'm going 60. I reckon somebody's been stealing my salad dressing out of the fridge. I reckon.
Oh, no, it's got to be the total
The
lunch,
whole
not,
lunch.
not a condiment. Do you
Not
want
a
to adjust?
condiment. Oh, all right. I'll take it down to 47.
Sean, you happy with your original
32.
answer?
I think I said 32. Yeah, I'm going with it.
You've got it, but not. It wasn't a great win. Kind of. It's 8% of Australians have stolen a workmate's lunch. So,
Whoa.
So
gee,
hang on. So the question was how many have admitted to stealing it, but how many people reckon their lunch has been stolen? Because they're very different things.
exactly. People reckon their lunch, but no, 8% of Aussies have stolen a workmate's lunch. It's the entire lunch. Lock up the fridge at Nova. It
Yeah.
seems so you guys are thieves
Yeah.
when it comes to cheeky treats.
Hey, Andy, I was just actually down the fridge while playing a couple of songs to you. And so on the front of the fridge, there's a couple of sections or
Boxes of stickers.
Boxes of
Yes.
stickers, yeah. It says for people's own use or it's a communal use. So the stickers.
So we do have a lot of communal things here. The company does kick in for communal things. So there's that's a red sticker if it's communal, and it's a yellow sticker if it's private.
Oh, you have to put it on
And
your own
my-
item when you put it in.
My salad dressing is private. It's clearly marked private. I've got stickers on the back, the front, and the top. And still people use it.
Why?
Andy?
Why are you making the salad dressing private?
No, because I brought it in. I brought it in
That's
out of
all
my
right.
own money.
It'd be $7.80 or something.
No,
Come
but
on.
like,
It's your
otherwise
little
I
way
know
to
it's
give back.
there when I need it. I use it every day. It's mine.
Jeepers.
We're getting
Wow.
tight around here, mate.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Oh, we don't all have big salad money dressing, Andy Lee.
You should see how many salad dressings Hamish and I have at work.
I know that in your new build, you've got a salad dressing room.
We're rolling kegs of salad dressing.
I did see a video of the family of diggers that are working on your building project.
Yes, I know. That just represents
That's a bit
money
over
pit,
the
doesn't
top,
it?
isn't it?
Yeah. Well, weirdly on that, and
So to be clear, there were 5 different diggers, right?
There were 5 different diggers at the house.
At
because
one time.
We hit rock straight away.
Oh.
And Bluestone Rock in Melbourne. And so in order to not fall behind on the build,
Yeah.
which would ruin and cost you actually, they did the maths on it all. It cost you more money to fall behind on all the other trades that are lined up.
Yeah.
Yes.
They just had to bring in more diggers. They started with 1 and they ended up with 5 to get through the dig. So, yeah, it hasn't been the greatest.
So yeah, this was just to put the foundations in, is it? This is the very beginning of it.
I'm gonna make it sound like I know building, but it's something called piles, which is which I think is
You can't sit
terrible,
down. Yeah.
a terrible medical situation. But yeah, piling, which is essentially you drill down big holes 8.5 meters deep,
Yep.
Yeah.
fill them with concrete, and then that becomes pillars in your basement as you try to excavate. So it holds the earth in on either side, so the neighbours' houses don't end up in
Yeah, great.
Into the
That's
river.
great.
So
behind you.
they're important. They're important. Yeah.
Hey, Andy, with the build, like we've spoken to you obviously a lot
Yes.
about it, but
Yep.
are you, because a lot of people, this happens to a lot of people, they go do a renovation or they buy something and they go, why the hell did we go down this path? And is this ever going to end?
Have you hit that point yet?
No, I certainly. It's certainly costing way more than I thought. I'm a pretty conservative person, so that definitely is going to be an issue at some point, but I am loving it. Like, it's exciting because this will be the first house I've ever built, and doing it with partner, with Beck, and putting both the things that we love into it is exciting. So I think it's also so far away. It's still another 2 years to go.
Yeah. Oh, at least. Yeah.
They set the
optimistic.
expectations. So you guys. I know I'm coming back around, particularly if the 100 keeps having 2 weeks seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Check in with me again on that one, perhaps.
We're loving the progress. It gives you something to think about other than Carlton, though, as well.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Yeah.
How are you doing? It was rough.
I was in Brisbane, so I couldn't even turn off the telly or throw the... That's the appropriate music. Thank you for that. That's helpful. I feel like I'm now in a safe space.
Yeah, you are.
Second quarter, 60-0.
Yeah, and a lot of people were saying, as Carlton supporters, did you leave early? And my team hadn't even rocked up by then. So I had to stick around
until they got there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. So I had to stick around and at least wait for them to arrive. And we were 10 goals down by then. It was a very sombre flight home. I, like a lot of Carlton supporters, said, let's just get out of Brisbane and rebook my flight late at night to the 7 a.m. And a lot of scrunched up scarves and just quietness. And it was like a funeral procession down that middle aisle of the plane.
Oh, and who will you follow then? Will you get caught up with somebody else?
Jump on another bandwagon?
Yeah, probably not a popular one for everyone, but I've got all my cousins down in Geelong, and I know they've had a lot of success in the past, but I'm also just astounded that they keep fronting up and keep doing it again. So that's probably the team that I like the most.
Chris Scott, unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Good on you, Andy.
Thank you, guys.
Love
as
your work,
always.
everybody. Check out the 100 tomorrow night after the block on Channel 9 and 9 now. Stay
See you,
strong.
legends.
Stay strong.
See you, baby.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Nathan, Nat and Sean are buzzing about Pet Margaret River region. A brand new wine and food festival this November. A beach club, wine tastings, forest lunch and live music. Get your tickets now at petmargaretriver.com.
Now, on Friday, we're going to give away this incredible prize. It's basically a paired Margaret River region experience, including premium food and wine tickets, 4 nights accommodation and $1,200 spending money. It's so good.
Rachel and Frankie are going to battle out this morning. We'll start with you, Rachel. Good morning.
Good morning.
Rachel, you up and about?
I am, yes.
Yes, great. You've had a coffee this morning?
Oh, not yet.
Oh, okay. I mean, you need a sharp mind. It's all about speed for this because they're not difficult.
No, they're not difficult.
They're not difficult. It's about speed.
Well, let's chat with Frank. Good morning, Frank.
Morning, guys.
How are you feeling this morning, Frank? This is a big prize, so you need to be sharp.
Yeah, pretty nervous.
Yeah.
That's the spirit.
Okay,
here's what's going to happen. We are going to say a word. If you know the perfect pairing to that word, you need to buzz in with your name first and then tell us the answer. You get it, you take the point. Otherwise, we move on. It is the first to score 5. Let's test your buzzers. Rachel?
Rachel.
Frank?
Frank.
Working well.
Okay. Here we go with our first one. Mario.
Rachel. Luigi.
Yes, Rachel's on the board. 1-0. Okay. Your next one. SpongeBob.
Rachel. SquarePants.
Yeah, we'll pay that.
Okay.
Rachel's got 2. You still with us, Frank?
Let's go, Frank.
Yep, still here.
Okay,
Big time
good.
prize.
Here we go.
Here we go. Next one. Fish.
Rachel.
Water.
No, we're not going to pay. We're not going to pay that. No,
We've got
no.
chips
Yes,
for this
fish
one.
and chips. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Fish chips.
Next one. Country. Frank.
Road.
Country road.
Yeah, I reckon
You're going to pay it?
well, it's a big time brand, isn't it? Natalie?
Yeah, all right. Frank's on the board. We're thinking more country and western, but, we'll pay it.
Country road.
Rachel still leads 2-1.
Okay, here we go. Next one. Knife.
Rachel.
Frank.
Fork.
Yes, Frank's tied it
We've
up
got a
at
match.
2-2. All right, next one. Tweedledum.
Frank.
Rachel.
Frank.
Tweedledee.
Yes, Frank's hit the lead.
Can I just
He's
have
woken up.
a halftime comment here?
Yeah.
He's about
Yeah.
it now, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's like Carlton.
Yeah, very slow start by Frank. It's come alive.
All
okay,
right.
here we go again. Yin.
Rachel.
Frank.
Yang.
Yang, yeah, is correct.
Can you hear me?
We can,
Absolutely, we
but
can.
Frank just got in
okay,
before
okay,
you. That's
sorry.
all right. Okay, Frank leads 4-2 and is now, somewhat unexpectedly, on the brink of victory. I know, we can't believe it either. Next round. Adam.
Frank.
Rachel.
Frank.
Eve.
Eve has done it. Your biblical knowledge, Frank, has got you in the draw.
Rachel's going to
for
be
this
spewing.
incredible paired Margaret River region prize. So you've got a 1 in 5 shot at it, Frank. We could
Fantastic. Bit of a Phil Thunder there, really.
I know.
Yeah, it was. Last minute
Pure
victory.
thunder. Beautiful. I remember
Oh,
paired
well done,
Margaret.
Frank.
Sorry, Rach.
Beautiful manners, lovely sportsmanship. Paired Margaret River region, a brand new wine and food festival this November. There's a beach club, wine tastings, forest lunch, and live music. Get your tickets now at pairedmargaretriver.com.
Hey, Frank, were you playing it a bit cagey there, just getting a few ciders in before you started jumping in?
No, honestly, didn't know the first two. I couldn't think.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
you came
good
good at the right end. Well done. We'll play it again tomorrow, everybody.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
In the studio right now. Couple of uniforms. We've got the US Navy's Lieutenant Commander Tyler Brown and Royal Australian Navy's Lieutenant Joseph Melbourne here with us. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning,
They're in the
guys.
full kit. They look the part.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Tyler, I'll start with you, mate. We know that the AUKUS deal, of course, is a big deal between Australia, the US and the British, but the submarine's been in town here in WA and looking at doing some maintenance stuff. We're just trying to learn off you. That's right, hey?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can thankfully say now all the work is done. So we got here a couple of weeks ago. The boat pulled up, and basically we're here to demonstrate the ability to do what we call eye-level maintenance, intermediate-level maintenance on a
So what's that, grease and oil change? Is it?
Yeah, kind of.
Scrape the barnacles off.
Yeah, right. And what we talk about, one of my bosses, he just left, as the fleet maintenance activity on a submarine tender as opposed to a shore-based shipyard, we call it kind of like your buddy's garage. You can bring your car over, you have sailors working on the submarine,
Yeah.
we'll provide the tools, we'll provide the work, and you just pull up and we'll do some work on you.
Yeah, beautiful. Joe, is this right in your wheelhouse?
Yeah, it is. So my background is marine engineer, and so normally what I'd be doing day to day is working out of our equivalent of fleet maintenance activity, which is called Fleet Support Unit. And so what we did was we just took a bunch of technical sailors, so electricians, mechanics and the like, and we went over to Guam for a couple months and basically learnt off these gents and had a swimming time.
So did you just leave school, Joseph, here in this? Are you from, whereabouts are you from, first of all? The East Coast?
East Coast originally, southeast Queensland, grew up on a farm, but the team's a national team. We've got guys out of WA, some from Darwin, some from Cairns, some from down in Sydney, so we've really pulled everyone together to basically put the team together.
And you only work on submarines?
No, we work on all platforms, so we've got a couple submariners, we've got surface guys. It's basically anything that needs fixing, just like the tenders. If you pull up, we'll give you a hand.
Tyler, what was your background before you jumped into the Navy?
So I joined right out of high school.
Yeah?
I joined and enlisted in the nuclear propulsion program. So
Why?
I mean, it sounds cool.
I
That's
guess
why.
Why?
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to college.
Yeah.
So I knew I felt like I was at the point where I'm either going to go to college and probably
Incur a debt.
do some things that probably wouldn't make my parents happy, or
Sure.
I've got a family history in the Navy as well. My grandfather was in the Navy, and growing up hearing those stories, that was always something in my mind. So,
And why the nuclear propulsion unit? What? It sounds cool.
As a matter of fact, I actually joined or went to the recruiter to join as a medic.
Yeah.
And you take an aptitude exam, and and so I tested well, and they're like, hey, we've got this shiny, nice, because they
we don't want to waste these talents on being a medic.
Yeah, sometimes they have trouble recruiting people into certain programs. And I believe actually the recruiters kind of get like bonus points for bringing nukes in versus other. So they dangle this thing in front of me and they're like, hey, and if you don't like it, you can always switch. Yeah. Biggest lie ever told to me.
Once you're in, you can't get out.
Well, once you're in under a certain program, you can't just be like, oh, I don't like this. I want to go back to being a medic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
you're committed.
It was, but no regrets. Yeah. You know, looking back, I just hit 21 years about a week and a half ago, and probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
Do you get a degree? Have you got a degree in something?
So
I'll ask you, Joseph, in a second.
Without getting too into the weeds, we have the equivalency of credits based off of the schooling that we've achieved. Yep. I don't have a degree per se to my name.
Yep.
So I 12 years enlisted, and then the RAN calls it changeover. Yeah. So I got picked up as a limited duty officer. But no degree yet.
But yeah, you've got all
you don't
the
really
credits.
need one, really. Yeah.
I also love the fact that you said, I don't want to go to college. Let me do the most academically challenging program that's in the USN and see how that goes.
Yeah. So, Joseph, for you get a degree. What were you studying?
So I did chemical and material engineering, and I was lucky I got picked up for a scholarship through what's called the undergrad scheme. So basically went to University of Queensland, was successful in applying for that scholarship, and then finished the rest of my degree there before joining the Navy full-time. Very similar program exists in the USN. They call it ROTC. But that was basically what I had to do to become a marine engineer. You need to join with an undergraduate degree in engineering, and then they basically keep pumping you full of education as you go. So right now I'm actually studying my master's, and that's basically how we run that system.
Yeah.
It's just continuous professional development.
Oh, so we had Elbow in the other day, the Prime Minister in the other day, and I hadn't personally thought about the armed services myself growing up, but also for my kids. And I ran into a dad who was telling us a story about he's encouraging his son to be able to look at going into the army over here in Australia because of all the other benefits that you get, which is health and looked after, education along the journey. Did you think about that, Tyler, when you were enlisting as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And my grandfather that I grew up more closely with on my dad's side was in the Navy, but my mom's father was in the Marines. And there's something that stuck with me that, because he only did one tour, like a 4-year stint, but he said his time in the Marines was almost an education in and of itself.
Yep.
Just, the people you work with, the things that you get to learn, the things that you get to do. And so just getting that experience in that, I mean, he was massively successable after, and he attributed it all to his time in the Marines.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now, I mean, obviously the downside is combat. I mean, I guess there'd be people that would be into that, but the potential is you could go to war. Have you guys seen active duty?
I mean, we have mainly been in a peacetime status, as a force. As far as going to see active duty combat, like on the ground, we in our position in the Navy with what we're doing right now, we wouldn't necessarily see that. Yeah. But yeah, going to conflict, even in the capacity that we serve on the ships, it definitely crosses your mind.
And that kind of thing,
Have you been in situations, though, you've been close to other nations underwater, that is, and, I don't know, flexing your muscles, so to speak?
Not that I can tell you.
Yes, I'm trying to see. Okay,
is there like a submarine version of Top Gun? Do
you get claustrophobic?
So, I think about that question a lot, and being on a submarine, you're going down to the submarine in port every single day. It's your normal 9 to 5, if you will, when you're not at sea. Yep. So you're just so used to being down there. When you do go to sea, it's just a longer day at work. So it's not really, compressed and cramped, and there's some spots that you have to get to if you drop something in the bilge or you're trying to get into an outboard to fix something. But for the most part, and I was telling Joe when we were down on the boat the other day, bringing back memories, is when you go down a passageway, you have to turn sideways because it's not wide enough for 2 people shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
So it's not like super cramped, but there's still some, kind of tight spaces.
We're particularly invested in the whole submarine thing because there's going to be some submarine maintenance happening here in Perth under the AUKUS deal, and you guys have been over there learning how to do it, and the full bottle now, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. So big trip for a lot of guys. We basically started up in January. I went over a little bit earlier just to set up the mission, set up the team.
Yeah, so this was to Guam?
Yeah, correct. So January we all flew over. Yeah. There was 37 of us at the start of the mission, and basically halfway through, about May, we got the opportunity to sail back on ESL. So a number volunteered to sail back on ESL, Emery S Land that is, and then the other half opted to stay in Guam on Frank Cable and basically
Now,
keep
Guam
learning.
it's a bit of a tropical paradise, isn't it? Is it?
Oh, love it. I'd go
Is
back
it
in a
beautiful?
heartbeat. Yeah.
Well, like, we know it's obviously a military base for the US, but also still a beautiful Pacific island.
Yeah, exactly. If you've ever been to like Fiji or Tonga, very similar,
got that
very
vibe.
mountainous. Yeah.
Oh.
So turquoise waters, white sands, really nice.
Tough gig.
Yeah, hard.
Hey, Tyler, I want to ask about the US Army bases like that. I know food and everything is put on, but do you have a McDonald's on there? Do you have...
Yeah, absolutely. So we used to have McDonald's. I think the contract got bought out by Wendy's now.
Oh,
But-
Oh, yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But each base will typically have a handful of restaurants. Nothing major, 5-star dining kind of thing, but
No.
definitely something convenient for people to stop and get some food.
A movie theater?
Yeah, on base we do. Yep. So the living conditions on base, typically for the Navy, at least in the ports that I've been to, you've got your gym, your movie theater. We have a Navy exchange. It's kind of like a department store, a grocery store. So they really try to make it for the people that have families out there and are living there as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
So there's a school for the kids and everything?
There
That's
is.
all laid on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. So my kids go to the Department of Defense. It's DODEA, Department of Defense Education, something. But yeah, it's a good school that they're in, and so
Oh, that's awesome.
Real
Yeah.
close to home, base houses and everything.
Yeah, so they fly in teachers and everything from the States?
I think some of them end up being like some of the spouses.
they're just spouses,
Yeah, and then
yeah.
there's some that I think are locals that are brought in, depending on, because we have those types of schools across the world where we
Yes.
have bases. So Korea, Germany, and, Guam.
Shaquille O'Neal grew up in an Air Force base like that in Germany.
Really?
Yeah, and he was educated on site because his dad was like a commander of some sorts. Yeah,
Nice. I didn't know that.
Shack Attack.
Would have been a
Yeah.
reasonable recruit to the local base.
Oh, he
basketball team, I
dominated.
imagine.
Yeah, he dominated.
Absolutely.
Now, guys, we have a special, what we call a personality. We're going straight to the top here. Channel 7 newsreader. She holds the world record for continual news reading, essentially, over, how many years is it, Susanna? 38 years or something now?
It's 40 in
Oh,
January.
my God, I'm sorry.
But
Wow.
who's counting?
This is the
Shot
one and only
changed.
Susanna Carr. And we know one thing about you, Susanna Carr, and that is that you love submarines, correct?
I absolutely love them. And actually hearing Tyler speak, I sort of realised now my dad was a Marine as well, a Royal Marine. So maybe my whole background was based around ships and sea and things like that. But there's this fascination with submarines forever and submarine movies. And we all get to go on boats and planes, but most of us never get to go on a submarine. So there's this incredible mystique that you guys live every day. And you're making it sound so normal, but to us it's so... other than normal, it's completely otherworldly. The fact that your working day is at the bottom of the ocean, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How do you feel when does it ever occur to you? Hey, I'm a couple of miles below the surface of the ocean. Does that ever actually? Are you just working away, or do you actually suddenly think, "Oh my God, where am I?"
Yeah, no, definitely. There's the aspect of because sometimes I would think about the size of the building that could be between me and the surface.
Yes.
And,
Because I asked you how deep you go, and you said, I can't tell you.
That's correct.
That's a secret.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
One thing we do need to ask you is how accurate are submarine movies?
It's funny when the tone came on, because actually just yesterday morning before leaving the ship, we have movies that are playing on the theater, and The Hunt for the Red October was on.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
give me one ping only. And so,
Is that accurate? Is it an accurate
so-
depiction of life in a submarine?
There are movies that are more accurate than others. Das Boot is a German film
Yes.
from the 80s. That's
Yeah.
really accurate for the World War II type era submarines. But yeah, there are definitely some movies that are much more dramatized than others. It's hard to really talk about too much.
Yes.
But what I was going to say, and you might get a kick out of this, is on my submarine, we were So submarines routinely go to periscope depth for various reasons. And the deeper you go, the pressure from the ocean is compressing the hull. And it actually affects the size of the hull to some degree. So one thing that we would do, for family members that are on rides, we can tie a string from one side of the submarine to the other when we're up top. And then you go down deep and you can see the droop in the string.
Wow. It compresses that much.
And so we routinely clean on the submarine, and we had this one time a sailor had to get between the deck frame and go underneath into the bilge to do some cleaning when we were up near the surface. And then just routine operations, we ended up going deeper, and we got a call up in the controlling station. He said, which is not typical for the engine room to request a change in ship's depth. So we had to call up to the controlling station and request a shallower depth. And when they asked why, we had to say because one of our sailors was stuck in the bilge.
Oh, he couldn't get out.
He couldn't get back out. And so
you squeezed him in there.
We did.
And it feels like the walls are closing in because the walls are closing in.
And I mean, he was safe. It wasn't anything like he wasn't in any kind of danger. It was just that the gap that he had slid through was no longer the same size because we were slightly compressed from the.
That's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always funny when.
We do hear creaking noises, but we understand why they are occurring. And
Giant squid? You say it?
Yes.
That's actually... Is that a thing? It's funny you brought that up. One of the questions that we get a lot is, what do you see outside the windows? But we don't have windows.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you, if there was something out there, you wouldn't know?
Correct. No internet down there, no windows, no phone calls. So that's one of the things I was actually going to say is being on a submarine, you're down in your own world, and you're it's kind of relaxing sometimes because you don't have to worry about what's going on in the news.
There's literally nothing external because you don't know about it. And what's the longest you've been down there for?
The longest I've been down is 58 days.
What?
Without coming up, yeah. So we
58 days.
We left Hawaii in 2011, and then we pulled into Saipan for our first port call. Yeah. In 58 days. Some of them stay longer if they need to. It depends on the mission. We have what we call on the fast tax. We have a 90-day load list, so theoretically we could be out there for 90 days. But it just depends on what the mission is, what's going on in the world, and what you need to do.
Yeah.
Susanna, how do you feel about staying underwater for that amount of time?
Oh, look, maybe overnight would be fine.
Yeah, I reckon it'd wear off pretty quickly, wouldn't it?
Susanna, have you been on a submarine, any that have come into port here?
I haven't. My greatest wish, I would so love to go on a submarine.
Gee, we've got to make that happen.
I've been on a dry land one that's down at Fremantle. It really doesn't count.
Well, I hear the RAN is looking for candidates.
Yeah.
We're always recruiting. Don't worry about that.
Susie, you'd be up for that. Sick of reading the news, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, look, a career change is always on the card.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, thank you guys.
And
thanks, Susanna, for joining us. Thanks for coming in. It's been an absolute joy having you in. We do have a lot more questions, but
Thanks, Joe.
Got to go.
Thanks,
and
Tyler.
Tyler's done this on his day off too, by the way, so we appreciate that very much. Thank you.
It's an honor. Thank you.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Clap your hands and gather round. It's time to tell a tale. So sit right down, enjoy the fun, get ready to exhale. Story time with Nathan, Nat and Sean. Every story with a joyful song.
Everyone's got a story to tell at Stories in Yagan Square. See what's on at stories.au.
All right, up for grabs, your chance to eat at great places like Alba, Ugly Baby and Carla with me on Friday. We're going to have quite the night at Stories at Yagan Square. It's going to be an absolute banger.
All right, Kirsty and Tony are going to battle out this morning. We'll start with you, Kirsty. Good morning.
Morning. Hi, guys.
Kirsty, you up for a night out with me on Friday?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, you sound keen enough. I like it.
Yeah, but Tony's thinking the same, don't he? He wants a shot at the table.
Tony, hello.
Hey, hello. How are you?
Good,
yes,
Tony.
certainly do want a shot at it.
Oh, do you just? All right.
I think I can keep up with the 3 drinks at each place.
Well, I mean, yes. As an example, so we're meeting at Ugly Baby first, okay, and so there's some little nibblies and things, but and a giant cocktail.
Oh, well, there you go.
We're going to kick off with a bang. All right.
Hey, Tony, when I said 3 cocktails or 3 drinks at every place, I was playing that down too.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I can still give her a run for her money.
All right, now we're cooking. Tony, I like your attitude. Okay, here's what's going to happen. We are going to tell you the gist of a story. Okay, it's your job when you recognise the story to buzz in with your name and then tell us the story we're referring to. Okay, let's test your buzzers. Kirsty?
Kirsty.
Tony?
Tony.
Working well. It is the first to 5.
Here we go with our first story. This story is about a boy and girl who had a terrible accident while hiking up a steep incline.
Tony?
Jack and Jill.
Yes, Tony. All right,
Off to a
Tony
flyer.
leads 1-0. Next story. This story is about 3 men who wake up with no memory about what happened the night before during their best friend's bucks party in Vegas.
Tony.
Yes, Tony.
Hangover.
Yes, Tony.
Come on, Kirsty, let's make a game of it, my friend.
All right, Tony leads 2-0.
Here we go. This story is about a love triangle involving a high school girl, a vampire, and a werewolf.
Kirsty.
Yes, Kirsty.
Twilight.
Yes! All right, Kirsty's on the board. Tony still leads 2-1. All right, next story. This story is about a lovable delinquent who gets caught by the police stealing a car, resulting in him being sent to live with his wealthy uncle, auntie and cousins in Bel Air.
Kirsty.
Kirsty?
Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Yes, it is. Kirsty's tied it up. It's 2-2. This is a battle royale.
I'm loving this so far. Here we go. Next one. This story begins upstairs and involves 2
Anthropomorphized
pieces of fruit wearing sleepwear.
Kirsty.
Oh, I think Tony got in. Yeah, Tony?
Bananas in pyjamas.
Yes, Tony!
Can someone just explain that word to me?
Yeah, explain that word.
It means like when you turn something that's not a person, you give it characteristics of people.
Oh, see, I learned something today.
I know, right?
Oh my God,
This is,
it's
I
a
mean,
bit
a
much
night
for
out
our
with
show,
me
isn't it?
sounds like heaps fun, doesn't it?
Very educational.
Tony leads 3-2. Next story. This story is about a young boy and a magical book that has no conclusion.
Kirsty.
Kirsty?
Never ending story.
Yes, Kirsty! She's tied it up. This is
All
a
right.
great match.
This
3-3.
is awesome. Okay, here we go. This story shows how a wealthy businessman can fall in love with an attractive and endearing escort.
Kirsty.
Tony.
Kirsty?
Pretty Woman.
Yes, Kirsty. All right, it's 4-3. Kirsty is on the brink of victory. Kirsty, if you get the next one, you win. Tony, you've got to tie it up, okay?
I know, I've got to win that last quarter.
Indeed. Okay. This story has a happy ending for an extremely poor girl who loses her shoe while leaving.
Tony.
Kirsty?
Cinderella.
Kirsty! You've done it! Kirsty, you're going to be joining me on Friday night. I know
fantastic.
Nat's night out this Friday for you and a friend at Yagan Square. It's going to be an absolute belter. We'll be at Stories. We're going to check out 4 of their venues. It's going to be so good. I will see you
I'm so
there.
excited. Thank you.
I know, it's going to be fun.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
The main thing over the weekend mate, if you look at Instagram and everyone's feeds these days, and
Facebook
what
as
I
well.
experienced.
Facebook was full of it, of junior football wins. And
Yeah.
netball too, but yeah.
There was netball finals, so
Yeah.
a lot of netball finals. Their grand final, I think it must be
Coming up this weekend, yeah.
But for the amateur finals on the weekend, there was A grade, B grade finals, all played across the state, and there was victors left, right, and centre. And what I noticed, a lot of the stories that I was told, including my son's story, Lachlan, his team, North Fremantle, congratulations to the boys there, they were taking on Whitfords, and Whitfords had gone through a season of being undefeated. Not losing a game.
You made this call to me. You told me that, if they could make it to the grand final, they were better than half a chance because it's the classic tale of the team going undefeated, getting a little bit complacent perhaps. They'd rolled them in a semi-final, presumably, already,
Yes,
like
they
2
beat
weeks
them.
ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so then they're like, oh, we're home and hosed, and then they get rolled in the grand final. It happens all the time.
All the time. And one of the other things to do with that, Nat, I was thinking about it, the poor Whitford guides had only played a game like 4 weeks. So because they get the first week bye, then they play and win, and then they're back into a bye, and then they're into grand final. So you always, from a dream point of view, you go through the season undefeated and get to the grand final. Of course, you win
Home
the
and
grand
host.
final. But so many times you hear it the other way
It happens
around.
all the time.
Yeah.
I saw the North Fremantle boys celebrating yesterday. So the game was on Saturday, but they had a big celebration yesterday just across the road from where I walk the dog. Those boys were going off. They decided at one point that a whole bunch of them would go down onto the oval, which is across the road, and then the others were hitting golf balls over the road and they were trying to catch it.
That'd be part of a skull game,
And
no
also,
doubt.
my car's parked in the car park. If anybody messes up these shots, I'm in trouble.
Well, I want to hear from people who were on the
hard luck
yeah,
stories.
because there's so many, and you know,
Losing by a point.
you got to you're losing
Kick
by a
after
point.
the siren.
Kick after the siren, winning every game throughout the season. I mean, you're the best team in the comp
Yeah.
if you win every game.
Yeah, or you got injured and couldn't play in the grand final.
Oh, that's got to hurt. That's got to hurt in a
Nick
big way.
Natanui. Jared, hello.
How you going?
Hey, Jared.
Oh, Jared.
Good
we're,
mate.
We're up for a hard luck tale. What have you got for us?
I've got 4 daughters, and one of them played in one grand final, and they'd played brilliant all year. And they lost 3 players, and one player went down in the first half, and they got annihilated. and they were on top all year. And then my other 2 daughters, they had their first grand final ever, same sort of grade. And my fiance is manager of the team. Brilliant season.
Yep.
And then one of my daughters went sick on Thursday, and she's been in hospital since, and she wasn't able to play the grand final. Or my fiance wasn't was
She
able
couldn't manage
to
either.
manage it either, and they won.
Oh, they weren't a part of it.
Oh, no.
They couldn't, and they're still in hospital now. We're on the way to the hospital now to
Jared.
check in on them.
Oh, Jared. Yeah,
That's
that's
a
stinker.
devastating tale all round.
Yes, we've had better weeks, put it that way.
Yeah, what sport was it?
Football.
Yeah, it was footy. Yeah, right.
Girls.
The
Yeah,
girls' footy's
so-
going off.
Yeah, it is, isn't
it's
it?
Absolutely
It's so good.
heaving these days. Oh, that's disappointing,
that's a tragic
Jared.
tale all round. Amazing. Thanks, Jared. Vicky's in Aluka. Hello.
Hi, guys. Apologies for the croaky voice, but it's been a big weekend.
You were
Yes.
screaming your box off, literally, Vicky?
Literally. First son is played in the Swannies and, West Perth Colts grand final on
yes.
Saturday.
Yep.
And the last 2 minutes, couple of questionable frees were paid.
Yes.
And, Swannies came through and beat us by 5 points.
Oh, no.
As a Swannies girl, I'm up and about this. Yeah.
No, I'm West Perth, obviously. And
Yeah.
then my other son was in the Grandy yesterday, but he broke his collarbone fell off his bike, so he missed out on playing yesterday as well.
Oh, no, Vicky.
And did they win?
And then just to top it off, no, they didn't know runners up. And then
Okay.
to top it off, I'm a Carlton supporter, so we don't need to talk about it.
Oh, you've had a dirty weekend, Vic. Absolutely filthy.
That's a terrible weekend. It couldn't get any worse.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm sorry for all of your losses. Thanks, Vic. Lucas, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, good,
Good,
Lucas.
Okay, talk us through your horror run. What happened?
Yeah, there was quite a few years ago when I was still playing rugby back in South Africa.
Yeah.
We made it. We had to win the last game of the regular season to make it into the semis.
Yep.
Yes.
We scraped in there. We scraped through the semis. We made it into the finals.
Yeah.
Just before halftime, we were still just behind.
Yeah.
I got a head knock, got concussed, got taken off. I cannot remember the rest of it. And we won the game.
Yeah.
We went to have a party, celebrate, and I didn't know anything other than the next day when I woke up and my girlfriend told me that we actually won the final.
Oh, and you missed it all.
I have
memory's all
no
gone.
recollection of that second half and the winning the cup.
And I'd just like to point out that while you were on, they were losing, and then you got knocked out, taken off, and then they won. Is that
Yes.
an accurate assessment of what happened?
Yeah.
Join the dots there, Lucas.
and that was the first time that club won the competition in I think over 20 years or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You want to be a part of those ones,
That's
Lucas.
your son. It was with 21
years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You
Isn't
need
it?
to be a part of those,
So
for sure.
he was a baby last time his club won.
Oh, exactly. I didn't think about that.
How's that? Good on you, Lucas. Thanks, buddy.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Hopefully, Nathan back tomorrow. Also on the show tomorrow.
Yep.
If you check out Celebrity Amazing Race tonight, we're going to talk to the team that's been eliminated tonight. So the first losers. I mean, the first one's out.
Yeah. Festivals.
Whoever that might be.
Hey, we got story time back again tomorrow, which
That's
is
right.
really good fun. I
Your
enjoyed
chance
that
to
this morning.
Join me for a night out on Friday night.
Yep, and we've got Perfect Pairing, which is an unbelievable trip down to Margaret River region.
Yeah.
Not only do we give accommodation and food and all that, and you go to the great event.
Yeah.
You get cash.
Yeah, $1,200 cash as well. So we'll be drawing that on Friday. So another chance to go into that draw. 1 in 5 shot at it. Pretty good odds. It's a $5,000 prize. We don't muck around here, Sean.
No.
Hello, Ross.
Hello, guys.
Hey, Ross.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, we were dressed as...
Ross has
Similar.
got a car key too.
No, you're the you're Steve Irwin. Check it out, the Nathan and Sean socials. You're all khaki. I'd say I'm the C grade. I'm kind of wearing just similar colours, but you're all out. You went hard.
I went hard this morning. I think you're the gardener, and I'm the guy dealing with the wildlife.
You're the khaki version of double denim today.
Check it out on the socials.
It was so over the top. I'm sorry.
No, you're looking great, Sean, as always.
Have to go and feed a tortoise or something? What happens now?
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.